Hello, I'm Dango Rose. Welcome to the Mountaineer Podcast, where everybody's listening. The Mountaineer brings you the latest news of the peak-to-peak region, in print, online, through our podcast, social media, and special publications. Now, listen in to the latest news of the area with our local journalists.
Did someone say selfies with reindeer and free hot cocoa? No? Just me? Well, if that thought doesn't put you in the holiday spirit, I really don't know what will. Lucky for you, that thought will also be a reality in downtown Blackhawk this Sunday, December 14th. The city has transformed Gregory Street into what they're calling Christmas Street. And this weekend, the scene will look like something out of a storybook when live reindeer come prancing down the blacktop, thanks to JKQ barbecue owners Joe and Cara Tenucci. And no, I'm not sure if reindeer actually prance. It's probably a little bit closer to a trot. Welcome to the Mountaineer Podcast. I'm Tyler Hickman. Today, we're bringing you a segment from our guest host, Maryann Rosen, who paints a beautiful and informative picture of what a winter drive down the peak-to-peak highway looks like. But before we hit the road with Maryann, here are this week's news bites. First, a little shout out to Nederland Cross Country, which notched an off-the-course win last week. Coaches Gavin Coombs and Kathy Butler both took home the Foothills League Girls Coach of the Year award after a pretty impressive season. Now, fun isn't the word that I would use to describe running, but apparently Coombs and Butler flipped that script with team bonding and pasta dinners that really brought the whole squad together this season. Congrats to Coach Coombs and Coach Butler. And finally, the town of Nederland got a little bit brighter last Friday, December 5th. Fresh snow on the ground made for a magical night as the town lit up for its annual holiday lighting ceremony. For a community that's honestly been through so much since the October 9th fires, this dose of holiday cheer did a lot more than just brighten the lights on a Christmas tree. Even everyone's favorite bovine, Murray the Yak, embraced the season as he pulled Mr. and Mrs. Claus's sleigh through the town. It was a beautiful scene. And that's a wrap on today's News Bites. A little bit shorter than normal, I know. If you would like to read any of these stories or anything else that's in the paper this week, you can head to the mtnear.com, where we post all of our stories every single week. Next up, we're bringing you a segment from our regular contributor, Maryann Rosen, where she takes us on a wintry road trip from peak to peak. Where to be and what to see when you're driving the scenic byway that links Blackhawk to Estes Park. So, bundle up, look out for moose, and try not to let the breathtaking scenes take your eyes off the road. Here's Maryann.
The 55 miles of the peak-to-peak scenic byway, established in 1918, running from Blackhawk Central City to Estes Park, is a beautiful drive offering views of the Continental Divide and the mountains, and winding its way through historic mining towns and scenic overlooks, offering stunning views with much to see and do along the way, including proximity to Rocky Mountain National Park, Brainerd Lake Recreation Area, and Indian Peaks Wilderness. The highway is open year-round and is spectacular in all seasons. However, winter provides a charm all of its own. With this story, it is hoped that you get a vision, feeling, and sense of enjoying the byway during the winter months. Here along the peak-to-peak, the nippy cool of fall has turned into the crisp, frosty cold of winter. A winter drive on the peak-to-peak scenic byway is a beautiful but somewhat challenging experience that can include icy roads, snow, and of course, altitude. The twinkling shimmer of the yellow aspen leaves has left and been replaced by the glittering glisten of the drops of snow or rain on trees sparkling in the sun. The sun ripples and prances on the snow-capped peaks, reflecting gleaming light. The sky, sometimes a beautiful bright blue, sometimes a cloudy blue-gray, but each color holding a beauty of its own. Although the greens of Douglas and subalpine fir, limber and ponderosa pine, and Engelmann spruce still dot the ether, with more bare trees along the route, one is provided with a much more open viewing of the panoramic views. Most of the time, it's a good drive. However, it can be snow-packed and icy in more shaded areas. Although not considered exceptionally dangerous, caution is required due to its winding 2 lanes in parts, frequent curves with a couple of stretches without guardrails. Speed limits are generally low, but drivers should be comfortable with mountain driving. The winter wind whistles and howls, sending snow skipping and dancing across the road and sky. Conditions can change rapidly. A winter drive may be gorgeous, but can be a challenging experience. Be flexible and ensure your vehicle is winter ready, which includes having proper winter tires, traction devices, or 4-wheel drive. Some areas are less accessible along the highway in this brumal season. However, much is still open in winter and available to be experienced. Road crews work hard to keep the byway plowed, so many visitors do find it drivable. One should always check road conditions before heading out. Allow for a longer travel time than the 80 to 90 minutes you would need in the summer. Backcountry snowshoeing and cross-country skiing are outstanding during the winter on the hiking trails. Again, always check on conditions if you plan to access side roads or trailheads. In winter, as always, be on the lookout for wildlife. One may see elk, moose, mule deer, and bighorn sheep. It is also possible to espy coyote, wild turkeys, bald eagles, and short-eared owls. While many animals hibernate in winter, a variety of mammals and birds are still active during the cold months, particularly in areas surrounding Rocky Mountain National Park. Beginning your travels in Blackhawk or Central City, one can visit casinos, stores, and restaurants still available in the winter. Some outdoor recreation areas and certain roads, like Independence Pass, Colorado 82, and the upper portion of Mount Blue Sky, Colorado 5, from Summit Lake to the summit, are closed to vehicles. Some areas are even closed to everyone. Although the Central City Opera House operates its main festival in the summer, the venue may be involved in year-round events. Stops like Nederland and Estes Park offer a chance to warm up, grab a bite, and explore small towns with unique mountain charm. In Nederland, the businesses are open, as is the Carousel of Happiness. One can enjoy shushing down the slopes at Eldora Mountain Resort up the road from Nederland Center. Big mountain skiing with a small mountain feel. The sale of the ski resort to the town of Nederland is expected to be finalized before the end of the year. There is also an ice skating rink in Ned. Gates on the campsites at West Magnolia are closed to vehicle access, but cold weather walk-in camping is still allowed within a mile of the road. Up the byway, near Ward, Brainerd Lake Recreation Area, with its access to hiking trails, Indian Peaks Wilderness, and lakes, is a popular area in the summer. Although the area is closed to vehicles in winter, activities like snowshoeing and cross-country skiing are accessible by walking into this winter wonderland area. Be prepared to add 4 miles round trip to whatever you are doing once you arrive at the seasonal Gateway Trailhead parking area. A stop in Allen's Park is also nice for a coffee or rest. Be sure to visit the Chapel on the Rocks and soak in the amazing vistas. Be aware that certain restaurants, coffee shops, gift shops, small lodges, and camps are closed during the winter months. Whether you are navigating the scenic byway through blustery wind, gentle flurries, frosty snow, or hazy sun, you are offered stunning views of the mountains, such as Long's Peak at 14,259 in elevation and Mount Meeker at 13,916 feet in elevation. Consider stopping at various points along the byway if it is safe to do so, or consider stopping at Lily Lake. Lily Lake is open in winter, but be prepared for cold, snow, and ice. The mountains are spectacular, whether seen through wispy mist or swirling flurries, or with the brilliant sun reflecting off of the ice, rime, and snow, creating winsome prisms of light. The beautiful views of the Colorado Rocky Mountains along the peak-to-peak scenic byway never cease to take my breath away. At the terminus of your trip, you will find yourself in Estes Park, gateway to Rocky Mountain National Park, and an enchanting mountain time in all seasons, including the hibernal one. Rocky Mountain National Park is open year-round, though certain roads are closed. Trail Ridge Road, U.S. Highway 34, in the park is closed, as is Old Fall River Road. Upper Beaver Meadows Road stays open. However, Bear Lake, Fern Lake, and Wild Basin may be closed. Estes Park itself offers a snowy wonderland where one can enjoy activities like snowshoeing, ice skating, and backcountry skiing. Visitors can also enjoy sledding at Hidden Valley, scenic drives, and wildlife viewing. In any event, the Peak-to-Peak Scenic Byway is a glorious winter ride. So, dress for crisp winter weather, grab your gear, prepare your car for the season, and head out to see the beauty and enjoy the activities available inside and out along this 55-mile, very picturesque stretch.
That's all for today, and thanks for tuning in. Thanks to Maryann Rosen for sending in this segment. There's really nothing like a trip down the peak-to-peak in any season. Truly one of the prettiest drives in Colorado, in my opinion. As always, if you'd like to get involved with the podcast, you can reach out to me, Tyler, at themountainear.com, or our other host, Jamie Lammers, at media@themountainear.com. Next Thursday, we have some really, really exciting news coming your way. Since I've been coming on the podcast, I've been sitting on this little tidbit of information, and it's honestly been really hard to keep quiet about it. But we're finally bringing you the big news next week with an interview with a very special guest, so mark your calendars for the episode. If you want to get our episodes as soon as they drop, make sure to like and subscribe, and of course, share the pod around with your friends, family, and neighbors, or anyone else who you think would like to stay informed on all things Peak to Peak. I'm Tyler Hickman. This is the Mountaineer Podcast. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.
And that's it for our show. Subscribe online to get more access to more news, weekly updates to our community calendar, and a link to our YouTube channel by visiting themountaineer.com. Be sure to use the coupon code PODCAST when subscribing for a 10% discount, only available to our listeners. If you are in the local Peak to Peak area, be sure to pick up a print edition of The Mountaineer at a local business. I'm Dango Rose. Thank you for listening.